As the first of the month approaches and unemployment rages amid the coronavirus shutdown, some politicians and activists are calling for a rent strike in New York. Evictions are already banned for 90 days. Mayor Bill de Blasio wants Governor Andrew Cuomo to extend that moratorium and to follow New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy's lead and allow security deposits to be used to cover rent. De Blasio also favors a rent freeze for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants in the city. So the question is, where does that leave the landlords? Joining me now, real estate attorney Craig Price. Craig, welcome to Chasing News. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. How are you?
So first things first, Craig, I want to clear up some misconceptions. A lot of these landlords across not just New York City, but New York State, these are not necessarily big, wealthy corporations. Oftentimes they are individuals who are worried about their bills too.
That's very right. I mean, we're getting calls from clients who are small mom and pop owners who are just trying to make a few extra dollars. They own a couple of buildings passively, where they're looking to get their rents, and they have real concerns right now that they may not come in May 1st.
You're going to see people not paying that rent on the 1st and just pushing to the landlord to take the security deposit. But of course, the security deposit itself has purpose.
It does. I mean, it leaves them in a very, very hard spot. I mean, the reality is that the application of that security deposit would leave them open and bare in the future should there be any damage to their buildings. I mean, it is a way to make sure that payments are made presently. There's going to be a real estate tax bill that's going to come due July 1st. That's really the big thing. What happens when the city recognizes that if they impose that restriction, don't pay your rent, or the moratorium on rental payments, that means that a lot of landlords aren't going to be able to pay their real estate tax. And if they don't pay the real estate taxes, what happens then?
Vicious cycle. All right. Thank you, Craig. Good to talk to you. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
All right, let's get to the opinion zone. Joining us tonight, ALISON YOUNG, Republican strategist. Good to see you, ALISON. And David Clark, criminal defense attorney. Good to see you, David.
Good to see you, Bill.
David, I'll start with you on this. Unintended consequences of a shutdown. None of this seems to have been thought through. The government could have literally be cutting their nose off to spite their face with these real estate taxes coming due.
Yeah, Bill, I mean, the renters are in a not good position. They're not where they want to be. The renters are calling it a strike, but some people just are unable to pay, and they might be looking to the legislature, the government, to step in. They might be more government assisted needed in New York right now.
To David's point, the government caused the shutdown. We're going to argue the merits of that over the next several years, but here we are, and they have established, from the New Jersey example, no criteria. It doesn't matter whether you have a job or can pay your rent. They're basically saying you don't have to pay it.
Bill, there's no lack of compassion for people that can't afford their rent right now. But what we need to grasp is that people that don't pay their rent shift that cost to someone else. And so if that is the landlord, perhaps that means that, yes, taxes aren't getting paid, and then there's not enough money for first responders that are on our front lines. Perhaps it means that they have to lay off that maintenance person that's always there every time your drain clogs. This has a domino effect, and rent is a responsibility.
One thing the legal system worries about is a wave of evictions happening, and that's using the court power and the resources of the state to get people out once the 90 days has passed. So, but there will be individual litigation, no doubt, after this is over. No whether people take it to the state level, we don't know yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.